Hi, I'm Todd Mitchell, owner of Cybersecurity4biz, and I want to talk to you about the price of cybersecurity. The misconception out there that cybersecurity requires a huge investment. This is just false. You can protect yourself at a very low cost, especially when you compare that cost to the price of being hacked or having a data breach. Most small businesses, according to the Small Business Association, who've done several polls on this, most small businesses have around 2,500 clients. The cost of a data breach to a company is about $200 per client. You do the math, and that comes up to close to $500,000. And that is per year. And that could last up to 10 years. Because if you have somebody's identity get stolen, you have to provide identity theft protection for them. And LifeLock for 10 years at $200 a year can get very expensive. You also have other liabilities. You could be liable in court for any lawsuits as long as you have not done what is considered to be reasonable by industry standards of what another business would have done to protect somebody from having their data stolen. So you as a business owner are liable. Now, those costs can quickly add up into the millions. There's cybersecurity insurance, sure, and that'll offset that, and that costs you about $70 a month. But is it really exempt you from doing things to be prepared? No. Just like in a home, you have a homeowner's insurance against fire, but that doesn't mean that you don't buy smoke detectors, and that doesn't mean that you don't take precautions like making sure your stove isn't lit with a gas stove or a fireplace when there's nobody in the room to pay attention to it. So common sense, do some preliminary prevention work to keep you being safe and keep your data protected, keep your clients' information protected is just the best practice. Now, the cost of doing that, the way I have my plan set up, I provide you with an in-depth consultation to decide what types of data you have and what we need to do to protect each of those types. In previous videos, I've discussed the types of data that there are. Now I want to talk about the cost of protecting those. I find low cost or even free solutions, open source software, and industry best practices that you can do on your own that will prevent yourself from being as vulnerable. We mitigate these vulnerabilities through behaviors and practices. And then, depending on how large of a business you have, we can take a look at whether you need to pay for some off-site services like network monitoring and things like that. So the cost of doing this in the $1,000 range is much smaller than the $500,000 or $1 million that it would cost once you have a breach. What I provide is a cybersecurity plan that can be implemented and then a cybersecurity policy that you have for your business. Now, I work with all sizes businesses. So you might just be working out of the house on one computer using your home router and have a little cupcake making business, and that's fine. You still need to protect yourself. You have a client list. You have an email list of a couple of thousand people that you've dealt with. You possibly have payment card information on them. You may collect birthdays so you can send them a birthday card as part of your marketing campaigns. All these are fine, but we need to protect that data. You don't want somebody else to get a hold of that email list and then start looking at those birthdays and getting some personally identifiable information and start stealing people's identities or selling the email list on the dark web for thousands of dollars and having customers lose trust in your ability to keep them safe. So you want to create a cybersecurity policy. You want to create cybersecurity procedures. You want to train your employees on what these are, even if you're just looking at yourself or possibly 1 or 2 employees, or maybe you have 20 employees. They all still need to be trained on cybersecurity best practices of how you personally want your business to be protected. The other thing you need to do is restrict access and privileges to information so that it could be a need to know. These are behavioral things. These are settings in software that you already own. Microsoft, Apple, all these computer operating systems have settings in them that are not set by default, that you just need to go in and make some changes. I can work with you on that. We can figure out the best solutions. Multi-factor authentication, that's a huge one. A lot of people deal with this. Gmail accounts, banking accounts. Every time you log into your mobile account, sorry, speaking of mobile, there goes my phone. Every time you log into a mobile account, you get a text message saying, hey, is this really you? Put this code in, and then you get the little code and you type it in into the box, and then it finally lets you into your mobile banking software. That's called two-factor authentication. The best policy for that is to set that up in as many places as you can possibly do it. This is a good safeguard to make sure that somebody else is not using your login information. However, if you don't set it up and then somebody gets your password and logs in, they can set it up. And now they're the ones getting notified when somebody tries to log in, and they can actually lock you out of your own accounts. Unfortunately, I've seen this happen way too many times. And the last thing is training your employees. The vast majority of people who are hacked and have data loss is because of phishing emails and other behavioral type things, stolen passwords, things like that, that are completely preventable if employees were trained on what to look for and know not to click the button, know not to type in passwords or share passwords or have strong passwords, things like that. So what we want to do is we want to keep you safe at a low cost. I'm a disabled veteran-owned business. I work out of my house. As you can see, I'm sitting in my living room. I understand how this works for smaller businesses. The reason why I'm doing this, my mission in life was I left government where we used to do cybersecurity on a huge scale with large companies. And I said, hey, none of this information is available to the smaller businesses. That's just not right. So my mission is to help small businesses, micro businesses, entrepreneurs, stay-at-home working moms that are running their own little side hustles, whatever your category. I'm here to help you stay safe. Thank you.